Yeah, the thing I want to be remembered for is that I was the freest, that I was one of the freest souls on earth. I did what I wanted. I didn't care about anything. All I wanted to do was be free, be happy, and because everything I'm doing right now is for us. Everything that the current me is doing right now is so that the you next year can be in a better position than I am right now. I'm gonna fight for us. My name is Aina. I'm a pretty decent guy. I believe to say I'm hardworking only to things that I truly care about. If it's not something that I care about, I don't think I'd work very hard towards it. I'm a unique individual. I am extroverted in most ways, however introverted in most as well. But I'd say I'm more out there than introverted. And yeah, my name is Aina. That's who I am. And I love to vape as well. But I can't survive without vaping, bro. I swear to God. Anyone who knows me, bro, you'll have to kill me in order to fucking make me stop vaping. Even if I'm broke, bro, I'll find a way to get a vape, eh? I guarantee you that much. My upbringing, I'd say was unique, but not that unique. In terms of that, so a little bit of backstory about me. I was born in Pororo, born in P-Town, and I stayed there for like early stages of my life, like from when I was born to when I was 5. So I don't remember much from Pororo or Wellington in general, but all I remember is like little bits of things, but they're kind of hazy. And all I know is just that we used to live in Cannons Creek, so my parents used to say we used to live past along the street where people used to, like we used to live across mongrel mobs or something. When I was 5, we had gone to Australia, so I'd stay in Australia for a good part of my life, like around 8-9 years. Australia was unique, so Pororo, that's where I was born and at early stages, but now I'm like, this is my childhood. My childhood was mainly played out in Australia. And when we first moved there, lived in Plumpton for a bit. Yeah, and we were just renting there for a bit until we got a proper house, which was in Mount Druitt, old Mount Druitt. I'd say my childhood was, like, during that time was, it's hard to explain. Because I did so many things, but so many things I couldn't do. Because my parents are strict. As all Islander parents are, but like my parents are strict. So I had to be home at a certain time. I could only go to school, come back. I couldn't like play around with certain people. But I understand why they did that, because there'd be times when my dad would tell me, yo, walk up the road and go get some milk or go get some fish and chips or something like that. And I'd have to walk up the road. And it was kind of daunting, like, you know, you're 8 years old and you're walking down this long-ass street, barely no lights. At the time, there's some lights in between, but walk down the end and you see like a bunch of like wogs, like the Arabics and that, or like just any culture of men just sitting outside their cars, smoking, drinking, like towards the end, and you're just like looking down, having to walk past them, almost like scared. Because I was young at the time, so that was thing. But other than that, I was pretty free as well. Like when my dad used to train me for rugby, or like I'd go around on mini adventures when I was a kid. Like there'd be times I'd go to the park, like I'd steal a bike, I'd go riding around in it like so much that I actually ride it to school and back. Yeah, and the trips weren't short neither. They were like They were like 10Ks or some, yeah, 10Ks to get to school and back. And it took me like 2 hours to bike there and back. But I just did it just because I thought it was like, it was cool. Like, I never had a bike. I never had a bike that could take my weight during the time, but I finally had like a grown ass bike and just biked everywhere. Oh yeah, funny story. Yeah, there was these things that they used to do in Australia, with they used to like give you free samples of either tea bags, rice, or cat food within your mailbox. And what I used to do was I used to go down the whole block and I'd just steal everything. I just raxed everything from people's mailboxes. So I'm just opening it up, taking their shit, running back home. And yeah, it was good times. Good times. So if I was to say anything, my time in Australia was free, but not so much as well. And then after 2013, I came back to New Zealand, back in Auckland, and ever since then, like going to school, just learned a different culture, learned like what brotherhood was about. I was surrounded by good people, and honestly speaking, going to high school, like at La Salle, best times of my life. That was like the most freest I had ever been, the most fun times I've ever had. And I'll always take those memories to my grave. So my upbringing was, yeah, I'd say like pretty free, but restrictive at the same time. And it was good. I got nothing to say other than it was fun times, and unique. Fuck. It's too much to count, really. I believed all the hidings that I got were warranted for. Like, if the things that I did, if I had a kid and he did some of the things that I did, I'd probably slap him in the head as well. The most prominent one that I can say that was unique was, as I remember, my old man wanted a cup of tea. I go grab a cup of tea, I give it to him, but I spilt a little bit. So as I'm standing there, spilt a little bit, I look at my old man, he stands up, G. Fuck, straight clocked me out, dropped it, cracked the cup. And then I was just like, cry at the time. And then tells you to clean up the mess. Told me to go take a shower because my nose started bleeding in. And then after the hiding, he gave me $5 and I was so happy. I was so happy. Went down the road where it got me a pie and shit-ass pie at that. But I was happy. Yeah, I've been fucking probably hit with everything, I've been hit with shoes, belts, the side of a machete, wood, dark wood, the door, put your head in, start slamming the door. But honestly, like I harbor no ill will or hard feelings towards the hidings I got. Just, builds character and all that stuff. And it's something funny that we always look back here. But I'd say all of them were pretty memorable. I can't go into detail about all of them, otherwise we'll be here all night. But yeah, but the most prominent one was that one where I served him a teacup and just got fussy there and had to go clean up the mess, take a shower, and gave me $5 and I was happy. Oh, the first hiding, I remember. This is the one day. I think I was in Potorua. I was like 4 or 5 or something like that. Me and my sister were playing in the car, and I pulled up we were like playing in the car, pretending like we were driving, and then I grabbed the lever, which is the handbrake. I pressed the button and it went straight down, and all of a sudden the car starts moving downhill because our driveway was like a downhill driveway. So the car went down, and all you hear is a massive boom. Just smacked into the house, And my dad comes out, runs out. We're all hopping out the car, like me and my sister hop out the car. We don't know what's happening, All I remember was I was running from my old man, got in the house, got into a corner, and he was just stomping me, stomping me. And that was the first hiding I do remember. I'm crying, go into my bed, sleep, I'm crying. And then I go to sleep, I wake up, I see fish and chips on the table. They tell me to come eat. I'm eating, and I'm happy, you know? But, you know, you just have to take it on the chin, sometimes, with your parents and who you love, But, yeah. Oh, damn. Gotta go back to 2020, because that was the period of time where I felt today. Like, during my whole life, I never felt depression, but 2020, it's where, like, things started stacking on top of each other, and I just crumbled, How did I deal with it, though? There was a period of time where I was just self-pitying myself the whole time. And I was just pitying myself when I should have been, like, out there, like, getting shit done. But because of the pressures and all of that, I kept staying in that depressive state. So I believe I didn't deal with it all too well for the first time. And all I remember I used to do was I used to stay in my room. I wouldn't even look at my phone. Concept of time didn't even matter. I'd wake up at whatever time it was, morning, night, all of that stuff. I'd avoid my family. I was buying smokes, and I was just smoking outside, vaping outside, because that was the time where I transitioned into vapes. And I was listening to music, so I always had like this ritual thing that I always used to do is I always used to like sit outside my backyard, look up in the sky, and I used to listen to music, and also used to vape at the same time. And that was all I did. And the boys would bring me out, the close bros and that would always bring me out, and it made me feel good. But at the same time, I had to understand during that period is that the only one that can get myself out of this is me. And by doing that, I had to do shit that made me get out of my situation. Okay, I'm broke. What do I need to do? I need money. Okay, if you need money, you'll need a job. Okay, but what job would you actually work in? Actually, a job that at least doesn't like write me off, or at least cares about my development in the world, Okay, fine. Like, where you gonna find it? Like, jobs that can train you up from ground up. Okay, let's go search for that. Do that. And like breaking down my steps and understanding the problem that I was going through at the time and what I needed in order to get out, that's what helped me. Is that as bad as I can feel about this, and as bad as I can feel about the situation, about the world not going in my favor, like breaking that shit down and knowing what you need to do to at least get out of the situation that you're in right now, and hopes and prayers that your depression will lift, or just to be an upright, standing human being. Yeah, that's what helped me. And it took a bit of a process. It didn't take that long. How long was it? So, it took me like 3-4 months to fully, like, in my mindset, like, get all that shit out. But in terms of like performance and like getting myself out the situation that I was in, that was giving me that depression, I think it took me like 2 months. And then everything was rolling, everything was all good. But yeah, it was a phase of my life that I probably won't ever forget. And yeah. Damn. Fuck. Hopeful. That's what I'd say. And the reason why I say hopeful is that I'm hopeful that the situation can get better. I'm hopeful that like past the hidings, past the depression, past everywhere, that thing on the other side will be what I'm at least trying to look for. Hopeful that the hidings are not as bad. Hopeful that like even though that it's cloudy on some days and the sun is still there, like, so that's the one word I'd say is hopeful. Hopeful that things will get better. Freedom. Freedom. This is all I've ever wanted all my life. Freedom. And what I mean freedom, I don't mean like financially free or like that stuff. No, I mean like everything. I mean like financially free, mentally free. And I understand that I can't be truly free in this world, like truly in all senses, because there are responsibilities in this world that you must maintain and you must do. That is your job. We all have a responsibility to life, whether we like it or whether we don't. So my goal of being truly free in every sense, the more deeply that I think about it, can't be attained. However, when it's all said and done and I'm on my deathbed, the thing I want to be remembered for, the thing I want to be remembered for is that I was the freest, that I was one of the freest souls on earth. I did what I wanted. I didn't care about anything. All I wanted to do was be free, be happy, and all those things. So freedom. In a year's time, do your best. Because everything I'm doing right now is for us. Everything that the current me is doing right now is so that the you next year can be in a better position than I am right now. I'm going to fight for us and fight for the future you. That's how I see it. So do your best. Oh, bro, the massive one, the biggest one was freaking Christchurch, bro. Christchurch. We went down for one of the boys' concert, right? It was like Church and AP. Like I knew them from one of the boys, and managed to. We just went down, and at this time I was at my brokest day. Like I had no money, no nothing, no everything, bro. I had no direction, no nothing, but like magically from the universe itself, my flight was paid for, there was accommodation, and food was either paid for or given to me, and alcohol and shit was there as well. So that was the biggest highlight, jumping on stage, to the Southside Pop in front of freaking Christchurch people. They all horsing it. See tits flashed all over the freaking crowd. The boys performing, having a vibe. Shut that shit down. And just had a good ass time, eh? That's the biggest highlight. On the future. Oh, damn. There's always those questions, hey, the future. The future, I'm still making it out. I don't know what I'm going to be like in the future. All I want to know is just that I want to have good times, good memories with the boys, but also like productively work on something that I truly want to do in this life. Something that will make me rise up out of bed and say, yo, this is the thing. I'm happy that I get to do this thing. I'm thankful that I get to do this thing. I haven't truly found it in a sense, but for future references, I want to know that feeling of waking up in the morning and being excited to do something productive towards my goals, which is, I'm not sure as of yet. Content-wise, yeah. I'd say we do that. Yeah. TAF reviews and me ranting about shit that actually matters. This is not going anywhere. Because I fully believe in everything that I say. I say things for a reason, and the reason is justified. I wouldn't say something and I don't feel that way without any deep thinking. So when I say mango fruit is shit, like it's actually shit. Or when I say the West Side food is not that great, it's not that great. Or Central, they got some decent foods, but you can't park anywhere. Bitch, have you seen the traffic? Have you seen like where you can park? You can't park nowhere. There's a reason why I say things, and I'm not gonna stop. like I'm gonna be true to who I am. I'm gonna continue saying what I say, and all truth in the matter, because that was one, how I was raised, and two, I'm not gonna deny myself of who I am. I was always told the hard truth, no matter how hard it was, and I either had one, to do it, prove them wrong, or three, don't give a fuck. And yeah, that's that's on that day. None of that stopping, bro. And that's something will be brought into fruition, and you'll be able to witness it sooner or later. And yeah, that'll be what it is. And I'm gonna say this thing: to love something or to grieve is to have truly at least liked it or loved it in a certain way. But gotta move on with life, eh?